Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Shivan and I'm a medical student studying at King's College, London. And as you can see in today's video, the setup is a bit different, and that's because it's a very nice, bright and sunny day, and we've been having a lot of those in London recently. And London brings me to the topic of this video, which is how to find a flat in London as a student. So that's a big question, because your automatic place of stay when you go to university is usually university accommodation, but that may not be so practical to live in for all your 3, 4 or 5 years at university. So you may be looking for a flat instead. A flat can be cheaper, it can be your own private space, and yeah, it can just be nice to be living in your own home. So it's definitely an option to consider. We're gonna talk a bit more about all the different aspects of finding a flat today, but before we do that, I want you to go check out my YouTube channel, because over there I make videos about medical school, university life in London, and generally how to live as a student. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. And if you like it, if you think it's something you'd be into, be sure to smash that subscribe button to join me for a lot more videos. Right, so without any further ado, let's get right into this video. So step number 1 in finding a flat is determining your search criteria and creating those filters so you can decide what you're looking for. And there are 3 important filters to set. Number 1 is the size of the flat. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, and also, because of that, how many people you're going to be staying with. That's the first important thing. Second, we have your preferred location for the flat. Okay, you want to decide where in this massive city you want to be staying. Is it near campus? Is it near a particular mode of transport? Is it near a particular area that you just like? Or is it near your family? Something like that. Lastly, a big thing is the budget. How expensive do you want the flat to be? Are you going for a very upmarket one in higher price ranges, or are you looking for something affordable? So these 3 different criteria, they hold a different sort of importance for everybody. So for some people, budget may be more important. For some people, location may be more important, and for some people, all 3 things may be of equal importance. But you definitely want an answer to all these 3 questions in terms of search criteria. That takes you to step number 2, which is where to search. So there are a couple of different ways to search. Firstly, you have online websites. So you can use Rightmove, you can use Zoopla, you can use Foxton. Or your other option is looking directly through agencies. So call up an agency, they're gonna ask you for your filters, when you're looking to rent from, when you're looking to rent till, plus all the things I mentioned earlier, and they'll be sending you flats constantly then, and you won't have to be actively searching for them. But then that way it's not really in your hands, and it's only the flats that agency has, that have signed with that agency. Okay, so I'd suggest using a variety of different methods to look for a flat. So use online websites, use agencies, use it all. Okay, now in terms of the search procedure, first you want to look on the website, go on the website, go to rent, and then you set your filters and start looking for flats that you like. When you narrow down, let's say you should at least find let's say 5-6 flats that you like, or narrow it down to 5 or 6, and then what you do is you call and email the agents telling them that you're interested in the flat. So I'd recommend calling, because it's not easy to get in touch with agencies over emails, because they must be getting hundreds of emails showing interest in these flats. So calling is the go-to, and if not, you can email. Call them, tell them that, hey, I saw this flat on your website, I'm interested in it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them the questions, and after that, say I want to come see the flat, and book a viewing. Because a viewing shows the agency that you're really interested in looking at the flat, and they'll definitely take you seriously after that point. And also, you, very, very importantly, more importantly, you get an idea of what the flat is like in real life, in person. You get to look at it. Now, what are some important viewing criteria? I have a list. I'm gonna throw it up and I'll read it out for you now. Okay, so room sizes. Room sizes are important. Do you want big rooms, small rooms? Are you just gonna be sleeping there and studying in the library and outside, or do you spend a lot of time in your room? That matters, and the closet space and stuff like that within the room as well. Desks. Do you need desks? A lot of flats don't have desks because they're not made for students. A lot of them do. Is that important for you? Is it there? And if not, can the agency, can the landlord put in some desks for you? That's always an important question to ask. And does the flat have the necessary appliances? So do they have a washing machine? Do they have a dryer? Do they have a dishwasher? I mean, some of these are just extra perks like a dishwasher, but washing machine is a staple that ideally the flat should have. Otherwise it may be a pain cleaning your clothes. Then you want to look at the condition of the flat as well. Is it well maintained? Is it new? Is it old? Is there a lot of damage? Or is everything functioning properly? So definitely look into that nicely when you're actually going for the viewing. And one very niche thing to look for that I actually noticed in one of the flats I viewed was that I wasn't getting any signal in that flat. And that's not great, because then it's not easy for people to call you, and it's not easy to sort of use your data when there is no Wi-Fi for whatever reason, because sometimes things happen. So look out for that as well. Now, what are some questions to ask the agency when you go for the viewing, or after the viewing, or before the viewing, but ideally during the viewing? Bills, are they included or not? So you have to pay water, gas, electricity, and Wi-Fi. So out of these, are any of them included? If not, do they have an idea of how much the bills are generally? It's always useful to ask. Then you want to talk to them about the preferred contract length. So what is the preferred contract length for you, and what is the preferred contract length for them? So are you looking to take it over a period of 6 months, 12 months, 2 years? How long? And how do you want to pay? Do you want to pay monthly, 6 monthly, 3 monthly? Again, depends. International students, you're typically going to have to pay 6 monthly. If you're not international, then monthly should work just fine. The next important thing is the price. So there's always a price listed for a flat when you're looking for it on whatever website you're looking on, Rightmove, Zoopla, or whether there's a price that the agency tells you. That's not a hard and fast price always. You should always try and negotiate that price down, because you should be able to get it down at least a little bit, because obviously these landlords, these agencies, they pitch the house at a slightly higher price because they know there's going to be some people pushing back and trying to get the price lower, so there's always some scope to reduce the price. I wouldn't just blindly accept the price unless it really looks like a crazy steal. My recommendation would be to offer around 5 to 10% lower than the asking price and move from there. Maybe start with 10% and negotiate until maybe you reach around 5%, or if they agree to 10% lower than what they asked, that's amazing as well. And do always take the agent's advice, because they know the landlord best, although they have the landlord's best interests in mind, so they may be slightly biased, but they will be able to advise you well on whether the offer you're making is realistic or not. Then the process of acquiring the flat. So you make an offer, you have to email the agent, you make an offer, and if they accept your offer, you have to pay a holding deposit. That's 1 week's rent. So you'll pay 1 week's rent and the flat will be held for you. It's yours now, and until you obviously pay the monthly rent or 6 monthly rent or whatever. Then you receive a contract once you pay the holding deposit that you'll have to sign. Do not blindly sign this contract. Okay, that's important. Go through the contract carefully, see what's written in there. Is there anything you don't agree with? Anything that could screw you over at some point? Read it carefully and only then sign your contract. And then congratulations, you have a flat. But that's not all I want to talk about. Another thing I want to mention is a very important part of finding a flat, and that's flatmates. So it's always a bit of less of a financial burden if you're looking for a flat with friends. One friend, two friends, three friends. I mean, typically the more people you're looking with, the cheaper it's gonna get for all of you. But usually, yeah, it's typical to live with one or two people. When you're looking for a flatmate, decide what you're looking for in a flatmate. Are you looking for a best friend? Someone to be doing everything with? Are you looking for someone who's just gonna be there, not gonna cause too much trouble, not gonna get in your way or not gonna get in their way? Decide that first. What kind of person are you? What are you looking for? And then make sure they are looking for the same thing. But my recommendation is sometimes a tolerable, polite person is much better than a close friend who always gets on your nerves. Remember that. I'd say you want someone, the ideal personality for a flatmate is someone responsible yet laid back. Someone who's not too, how do you say, into the little things, but at the same time not someone who's not going to do anything and is lazy and doesn't do any work at all. So you want somewhat of a balance between these two, so responsible and laid back. You don't want someone who's going to be pushing you around, and you don't want someone who's not going to contribute at all. I'd suggest always making some informal rules about sharing spaces, cleaning, responsibilities, paying bills, stuff like that, to avoid awkward conversations down the line that, hey mate, you've not paid me, or hey dude, you're not cleaning the flat at all, I'm doing all the cleaning, or can you stop hogging up all the space, So set some rules about it early on. That's definitely something I'd recommend. But at the end of the day, you don't really know what living with someone is going to be like until you actually go ahead and do it. So again, don't fret too much. Just if you have a gut feeling about somebody, you think they'd be good, and you've thought about it a little, just go for it, and whatever happens, happens. At the end of the day, you have 2 separate rooms, so it's not going to be that bad. Lastly, I just want to mention a couple of sentences on finding a room. So we've been talking about finding a flat. So now if you're finding a room, that's slightly different. So that means you're just looking for a room in someone else's flat, or you're looking for a room on offer, and you probably don't know who you're going to be staying with there. You're looking to stay with just anybody. So websites I recommend for a room. The best one is Spare Room. Then you have Rightmove, and you have Zoopla again. Another thing that can be very helpful when finding a room or finding a flat share or something like that is joining your university's flat finding group. So for example, I'm in King's, so we have a Facebook group called KCL Flat Finder. It's quite cool because you have to be a verified KCL student to be a part of it, and once you get on it, you'll see that people are posting flats, people are posting what they're looking for, so it's easier to find someone who has the same sort of wants and needs in terms of a flatmate that you do. If you're meeting somebody new, always meet them at a neutral location first. Also always meet them a couple of times to make sure you know what you're getting into, and then obviously view the flat. Don't blindly just accept whatever they're offering you, because pictures can be deceiving, descriptions can be deceiving, so see it with your own eyes. Anyway, I think that wraps up this video, all the hopefully useful information I had to share about finding a flat. I actually think all of this information should really be able to help you out quite a bit. If you're looking for a flat, this is pretty much everything you need to know. If you have any questions at all, any concerns, any worries about something like this, do drop a comment down below on the video, or feel free to message me on Instagram, anywhere, and I'll do my best to answer your question to the best of my abilities. Other than that, if you enjoyed this, if you found it helpful, do drop a like and consider smashing that subscribe button. And with that, I will see you in the next one.